Within meeting member promises, you highlight the use of illiquid assets. Won't many schemes be concerned that that's going to tie them up for many decades?
I think if you're looking at illiquid assets, you're looking at liquid credit in particular, all you're really doing is you're handing over money in exchange for a series of pretty secure cash flows that are going to come back to you. Now, it might be those secure cash flows come back over 50 years, or it might be they come back over only 5 years. You have a range of different terms there, so it's not necessarily the case that investing in illiquid credit means tying up your money for decades. It can actually be a relatively short-term, though illiquid investment.
And are there any particular assets that are attractive for schemes?
Yeah, well, when we look at illiquid assets, we think the really important thing to look at is the illiquidity premium that any given asset class is offering you over and above an illiquid comparable of the same kind of maturity and risk level. And what we've seen over time is that those illiquidity premia can change quite a lot. Sometimes it's longer dated assets that are more attractive, sometimes it's the more stable assets that are more attractive. And that's changed quite a lot over the last 5 or 6 years. As an example, right now, one area that we think is quite attractive is what a lot of people refer to as direct lending, which is lending directly to small and medium-sized companies that can't access funding in traditional sources. And that opportunity exists really as a result of the bank disintermediation story we've seen over the last sort of decade or so. And direct lending is an asset class that's become, I think, a lot more familiar to UK pension funds over the last few years. That there are a number of quite credible institutional quality products that are now being offered. And as Paul just alluded to, that's a good example of one where the time frame of the cash flows, the maturity is actually relatively short dated. So you could see cash flows coming back in 3 to 5 years or something like that with significant illiquidity premium attached to them.